this is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome to your Friday edition of the afternoon show. It is, of course, Friday, March the 7th, 2025. We have a lot to talk about today here. We got a full cast and crew. We've got myself, Logan Landers, be the host and producer behind the scenes. We got my boy Jay McLovin. We got Frankie C, Frankie the Yankee, for Frankie C, any other names. And of course, right now we're in the season of Frankie Lake Show. That one doesn't roll the tongue quite as well. And of course, we got the main two guys, the Gonzalez bros, the Gonzalez son and father duo, Tony and Chris. Guys, welcome to Friday. How we doing?
Doing good. Yeah, doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. It's beautiful 70 degrees out today and sunny, man. Life is so.
Shit, it was snowing here earlier.
Really?
A little bit. Now it's about 30 degrees, but it was snowing.
I literally laid out in my front yard, guys, and I made sun angels.
Jay, were you sunbathing?
Yeah.
That's a horrifying sight.
In the full nude. Everything was showing. It was beautiful.
With a bottle in hand, just...
It was a beautiful moment Frankie, for me, the Lord, and the deer.
Probably a lot of wrecks on that road.
What's up?
Were you also tanning outside in that New York weather today?
Oh no, Mother Nature's weird in New York, man. Today is really weird. Like we got wind, we got sun, and we got some snowflakes. I don't know what the hell she's going, but she's messing us up over here, man.
That's how it is here in Indiana as well.
She doesn't know what to do. She's like, should I make it sunny? Should I make it cold? Do I give them snow? Why not just give it to them all in one shot? Throw some goddamn rain into it, Mother Nature. Why not?
Yep. And we got a lot to talk about today. But we're going to talk about the hottest topic in the sports world right now, you could arguably say. And yes, it does involve a game, but it involves more so of what happened kind of away from the court in a confrontation. Now, there was no fisticuffs thrown, there was no punches, no slaps, nothing like that. Just a nice stern talking to between Stephen A. Smith, the world-renowned journalist who just got a nice big money deal out there at ESPN, and LeBron James. They had a conversation that somebody took a video of, and it appeared to show LeBron not super happy with Stephen A. in any sense of the word. It was before the game. We'll talk about the game, but we'll talk about this first and foremost before we get into that Knicks and Lakers game from last night. But from what people could kind of lip read about this is that LeBron was saying basically to keep his son's name out your mouth in a sort of way, with LeBron saying that with Stephen A., who has been a critic of Bronny's playing, and it's LeBron. He's going to get criticized anyway. So, guys, just what were your thoughts on this confrontation? I know Stephen A. addressed it earlier on today, but I mean, yeah, that's just kind of the big issue today. So, Jay, we'll start with you first.
Yeah, hey, I think Stephen A. loves this. Because you know what they say, any publicity is good publicity. Whether it's bad, good, whatever. It promotes him. It's all about promoting him. And everything goes viral, it's all for him. So I think he thrives on it. I think he knows the things that he says is controversial. I think he said, like he said in his interview, look, when Bron came up to me, I knew it wasn't a player. It was coming to me. It was a father and a parent. Basically, Stephen A. knew that he stepped over the line. It is what it is. I mean, for Stephen A., it's just business as usual. But, it's good to see somebody tell Stephen A., you just can't always say what you want to say. And if you do, then we got problems. But at the end of the day, man, from a business standpoint, Stephen A. just making that money. It's all good.
And what a horrifying sight it is for like a 6'8", 260-pound, muscled up LeBron James coming storming your way. That'll make any man's knees get weak, regardless of who you are. But Tony, Chris, Guys, what do you think of this little confrontation we had beforehand?
What did he say that was over the line?
Basically, the gist of it is he's saying that, the only reason he's in the league is because of Braun. And he basically, I think he was also took issue when Braun said that Braun was better than half the players in the league. And basically Stephen A basically saying horse shit.
Not just that, Stephen A also throughout since Bronny James had gotten drafted to the Lakers, since day one, he's been saying how bad his numbers are and how he could be an MVP in the G League, but then he comes into the NBA not producing anything, not doing anything, but he's only there because of LeBron James. So he's also talking about his playing skills as well.
Oh, he's all over the place with it.
I think he's got a lot of talent, but I don't think he deserves to be in the NBA right now. Just my opinion. I don't think he was ready to come out of college. How many, with the stats he had in college, how many other players would have been drafted in the NBA? Very, very few. I don't think any of with those stats would have got drafted in the NBA. He got drafted because of LeBron's son. So he's not. Yeah. I mean, I know that Stephen A is a dick. He is, no doubt about it. But I don't think what he said is stepping over the line. I think it's, and I can understand LeBron still taking offense to it, but still, I mean, I don't think he was over the line. I think he would say that about other players too, not just because it was LeBron's son. And don't get me wrong, controversy does create cash. So, I mean, I understand that, but I don't think he was over the line. That's just my opinion.
No, I agree with you, Tony. 100%. 100%.
What do you think?
What about you, Chris?
Like I said, I didn't see all the comments Smith had made, but I had heard some of them. I kind of think this was planned myself.
It might be.
You look at some of the comments, because when Smith made his comment today, he had to make sure he said this was unexpected. Like he wanted to try to make sure that people knew it wasn't unexpected. Why you guys say that? I think it was planned to get by Stephen A. Smith to get more media attention.
Heck yeah!
But and I think he knew LeBron was going to confront him, and that was one of the reasons he was at that game courtside as well, because LeBron has came out the last couple of weeks real critical about the way the media is treating NBA players, talking about that's why nobody wants to be the face of the league. So Stephen A. knew that some kind of confrontation was going to come eventually. But I like what LeBron did, though, because you get a lot of these guys on TV that think they can just say whatever the hell they want to say and there's no consequences. I think it's about time that some of these players kind of stand up for themselves. I think that's why some people don't like Aaron Rodgers, because he stands up to himself to the media. And I think more players should do that. I think LeBron should do it, but there also has to be a reason to. And I think he did have maybe not as a player, but as a father, he had a reason to stand up for his son.
And Frankie, before I kick it over to you, I just want to read a quote here from Stephen A. about what he said earlier this morning regarding that situation. In a quote from the USA Today website, it says, "That was LeBron James coming up to me unexpectedly, I might add, to confront me about making sure I mind what I say about his son," Smith explained to host Molly Quorum. "I can't repeat the words because they aren't suited for FCC airwaves. That's what he was doing. That wasn't a basketball player confronting me," Smith added. "That was a parent. That was a father." So, Frankie, your thoughts on this, and then after you're done, we'll wrap this up and talk about the game itself.
Well, the way Stephen A. Smith says it, it's like the way Chris said it. Stephen A. Smith is planning this out, because if you relook at the video of it, you don't see no type of explicit things coming out of LeBron James' mouth. You could literally read his lips perfectly fine telling Stephen A. Smith, you need to stop talking about my son. Literally just like that. So you don't see no F-bombs getting thrown at Stephen A. Smith. And I think LeBron has the respect for Stephen A. Smith to do that. He's not gonna curse at Stephen A. Smith. He's just gonna tell Stephen A. Smith, yo, chill out with doing what you're doing. Right? So I think Stephen A. Smith is dragging this to something bigger than it should be. And I respect LeBron for what he did, right? And just like Chris saying and Jay said and Tony said, these guys, because you're sports analysts and you're on TV and you're on First Take or you're on whatever the other one is with Skip, you guys think you can say what you want and get away with it. No, you're a big time analyst, you're a big time name. You go to these games, you think this person's not gonna come and say something to you? That's not gonna happen. As a father, I respect that. But also, like Chris is saying, I feel like Stephen A. Smith is dragging this out to something that more than it should be, because you're making it seem like LeBron's a bad guy. I don't think LeBron's a bad guy. Like I said, I respect what he did, but don't go on First Take today sounding like a little softy. Like, I'm not talking much down on Bronny. I think he got it. He said he got a chance in this league. I believe he could be the future of this NBA or whatever like that. All I'm saying is because he's your son, he came in here too early, and it's based on you. So everything that I say is based on you, LeBron. Like, nah, don't try and twist the words now, Stephen A. You got confronted by LeBron James. LeBron James is the most known person in the world, just like The Rock is. Like, he has that media attention, and like Stephen A. just trying to switch it up. I like it. I respect LeBron. I don't like Stephen A. Smith.
The only thing I will say this though, the only thing is I would, if I was Bron, I probably would have had that conversation in private, only for the fact that when you engage him in a public forum the way he did, all you're really doing is pumping Stephen A's numbers up. You're not really hurting Stephen A. You're actually helping Stephen A. I think if you do it in private, then Stephen A. can't use it as a media ploy to get more attention. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think it's. I see what you're saying, but I don't think it's gonna rise Stephen A. like higher than what he already is. Like, Stephen A. is already a high analyst. Like, he's up there. I think it's more of the fact, like, I'm glad that he didn't do it in private. Like, what's the difference, right? You got Stephen A. Smith saying what he wants to say on national television where hundreds and thousands of millions of people are watching, and you're going to say something about his son. What's the difference between him doing it in front of 30, 40,000 people in a stadium?
Yeah. It is what it is.
And that was pregame, so obviously LeBron was fired up heading into the ball game, and that carried over very well. He finished the night with 31 points, 12 rebounds, and also had 8 assists as the Lakers got the 113-109 victory over the New York Knicks in overtime. The Lakers now improved to 40-21 on the season, while the Knicks dropped to 40-22. So, Frankie, this is your team, so I'll give you the ball first and foremost. So, what are your thoughts on this big win, and also the Lakers' 8th in a row now that you guys are on fire?
Yeah, man, this is really exciting right now. Like, and I've been saying it before we even got Luka trade. Like, I people were like, at the time AD was hurt and stuff, and I'm like, well, listen, like we won like 2-3 games in a row when AD got hurt, so and then once Luka came around, it's like, okay, we got a better shot here, but who's our bigger man? And I've been saying the last couple of weeks that every other person in this team has been stepping up. Jackson Hayes, Jared Vanderbilt, Jameson second, like all these guys are stepping up really good. But now I'm seeing something different, and you know what I'm seeing, guys, and I know Jay's probably gonna say something different, but I'm starting to see the Dallas Maverick Luka in LA right now. Like, look at the last 3 games that he's produced, right? The last 2 against the Clippers. The first game against the Clippers, he had 34 points in that game. Then in the second game, he had close to 25, I believe, but he was doing assists and rebounding. And then last night against the Knicks, he had, I believe, 32. So, I mean, we're starting to see the Luka. He's starting to fit in. Him and LeBron are having that connection. I'm loving what I'm seeing from these Lakers right now. They came back from being, I think it was 15 or 12 down to come back and get the win in overtime against a really good New York Knicks team in the East over there. So this is a must for me, a must win when we're starting to go into this month of March, because looking forward, next up we got the Celtics, and we have it's all Eastern games. So like we're at Boston, we're at Milwaukee, we're at Denver, all these places. So this is good for the Lakers. I'm glad. I'm proud. I'm just glad to say that we're better than the Rockets.
You had to get that shot in there. Real quick, Jay, before I give it to you, the Lakers are 12-2 since that trade with Luka, and as I mentioned earlier, 8 wins in a row. They also have the league's best defense over that span in multiple categories. So we're not just seeing, obviously, we talk about the offense of LA and how they have some really good players over there. But like Frankie had mentioned, there's a bunch of the other guys who don't get a whole lot of media attention that are doing kind of the grinding work on defense. Like you mentioned, Jackson Hayes as a great example there. So. But Jay, they beat the Knicks and a nice win over a really good team in the Eastern Conference. Also, Jalen Brunson ended up getting hurt in that game in overtime. He's going to miss a little bit of time. We don't know exactly how much yet, but he did suffer an ankle injury in that one. So hopefully he's back on the court here sooner than later for New York as they get closer and closer to the playoffs. But what were your thoughts overall, Jay, on the big win for the Lakers last night?
Yeah, absolutely. I know we had talked earlier in a previous show about benches and the bench scoring and what that means to teams that want to actually be in that top 5 going into the playoffs, even better than that, but maybe making it to the finals. And I think the Lakers did do a good job of that. They scored 32 points off the bench, and the Knicks only got 14 off the bench. And then when you look at the time, if you look at that, I think everybody except for Reeves and Hayes were in over 40 minutes. And then when you look at the Knicks, every one of their starters is over 40, every one of them. So they didn't really get a lot from their bench. And obviously Brunson having rolled that ankle, that obviously didn't help them out. Not having Karl Anthony Towns, I still think was kind of an issue there for not. I don't believe he did play. I apologize.
He played. He just had a bad game.
He didn't get many points. He only got like 12 points. But regardless, I think this is just more of the Lakers are fitting in. Like you said, Luka kind of took him a little bit to really get squared away in his new city. I think he was under shock, a lot of it. I think even in that game, when they posted it on Facebook or ESPN, I think they had a picture of it where, they're having a team huddle and Luka's off on the end of the bench, just staring off into space. I think Luka's still trying to find his place there. I think he's still trying to get comfortable there, but he is coming around. Like Frankie said, he had like 30-something points the night before, 32 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists, I think, in this game against the Knicks. But really that bench, I think that's the one biggest thing I wanted to point out about that game was just how dominant the Lakers bench was over the New York Knicks bench. And anytime you got a team that's playing like that, you're going to do well. And Frankie, again, man, you guys have been forever trying to get here, and the Rockets, 1 year from last place, and I don't care. Say what you want to say. You still got to get it there. When you fall, I'm going to be there. When you fall, I'm going to be there. I just want you to know. When you fall, I'm going to be there.
Another day to put on the calendar.
Every day and night, all day.
Another day to put on the calendar that Jay McLovin says, a good Rockets team from last place of last.
Yeah, we are. Who's going to deny that?
Listen, before I let Tony and Chris go, I just want to throw a name out there that's been really catching my eye, who didn't do anything last year, who's actually having trouble since coming to the Lakers. Gabe Vincent. That man has been producing really well from the 3-point shooting, which Jay is because I was hearing what you're saying about the bench points. Most of those bench points was coming from Gabe Vincent with the threes last night. He's been doing that all season long. He's been hitting more shots, and he's been looking really much better than what he started with the Lakers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tony, Chris, what were you guys' thoughts on the big matchup that everyone's focusing on last night?
I watched a lot of the game. I got to see quite a bit of the game. It was a good game. Lakers were down a majority of the game and came back in the fourth quarter, and then ended up tied up and went in overtime. I'm impressed with the Lakers, man. They're playing good ball. If you look at I know Frankie said the last 4 games, but if you look at the last 8 games of Luka, and it was just here on my TV, the last 8 games, his statistics have been fantastic. I mean, he's
for sure.
Playing great last 8 games.
I actually have the stats right here.
You? Okay. And so, I mean, right now you got to say, I mean, I wouldn't have thought this 3 or 4 weeks ago, but the Lakers are a legitimate contender to make it to the finals. I mean, I don't see any other way around it. I mean, and unless they're just peaking at the wrong time, and that can happen sometimes too. But I don't think so. I think with Luka on that team, you seen what Luka did with Dallas last year. I mean, he carried them to the playoffs, and he's got LeBron. And if these other guys can step up and play a little defense, they could be a dangerous team.
Yeah, say it with me, Tony. OKC, UFC, KFC, Lakers in 5.
I didn't get to watch. I didn't watch a lot of the game last night, but a little bit of it I did watch. The game had a little bit of a playoff feel to it. Both teams were playing pretty hard, so I like to see that in a regular season game. But I agree with Frankie. We're seeing Luka play some of his best basketball. I mean, other than the first 2 games with the Lakers, he got off to a kind of slow start. But the 7 games since then, he's had 4 of those 7 games he had more than 30 points. One of those games he had 29 points. In 4 of those games he had 9 or more assists, and in 4 of those games he's had 8 or more rebounds. So I mean, it's not just scoring either. He's been putting up real good numbers these last 7 games. Like I said, other than maybe the first two games when he first got the Lakers, which I think a lot of that was he just hadn't played since December, and you're with a whole new group of guys. But you can see he's adapted with this team pretty quick, and if they can stay healthy, they can go real deep in the Western Conference.
Yeah, another thing I tell the tape on that game was the field goal percentage. For New York, they're basically at 39.4 on field goal percentage, at 23.3 at the three-point line. They went 10 for 43. That was a huge blow for them, obviously. And then you look at the Lakers, they're at 42.7 from the field goal percentage, and then they're 33.3 from the three. So they were shooting the ball definitely better than what New York was. And that overtime, obviously you saw it was 14-10. So it was a close game. I do tip my hats to the Knicks. I thought they put up a good fight, but just wasn't enough. And I think that bench, I'm going to go back to that bench. I think the bench was the biggest key for LA, more so than anything else.
And it's got to be a little worrying for the Knicks, because right now against top teams, they're not beating them. They're not beating the top teams in the league. They're not beating the Clevelands. They're not beating the Lakers. They're not beating the OKCs. They're not beating those teams. They're losing. They're like 0-7, 0-8 against the top teams. So they got to be a little worried about that.
All I know is you better tell Spike Lee to keep his ass in the East. Don't ever come back to LA.
Don't come out west. Don't come to crypto.
I'm sure Spike Lee would hear this and be like, yeah, okay, sure.
Come on, you don't know Spike Lee? He's watching. He's one of our viewers right now. You don't see that?
Sure.
Only. Couple of my takeaways from this game. I thought that if Karl Anthony Towns had a more efficient shooting night, I feel like the Knicks could have won this game. He struggled mightily from the field, only hitting 3 of 13 shots, including just 1 of 6 from the three-point line. He didn't finish with a double-double. Of course, he's a big guy. He's going to get rebounds. But if he shot the ball better, I feel like New York would have had an easier chance and a better chance to win this ball game. But all for naught. But another thing, too, that Frankie, you can attest, because obviously you watch the team more than all of us do, is I would say that Luka's diet and conditioning looks pretty good. I mean, he's getting at it on defense. I'm seeing clips of him playing really solid defense, too.
I think Frankie, you're muted.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I had to do something real quick. I heard you, though. Yeah, Luka's looking really good, right? He lost a lot of weight. His defense has really turned around. Like, everybody was, I feel like he heard that and he took that to heart, because literally everybody was talking about that since day one, how the Mavericks GM was talking about his defense and his conditioning and stuff like that. So I feel like he took it to heart, and this man's defense have turned around really good for the Lakers. Conditioning wise, I knew that this was going to happen. I said it. I said, who better to have on your team than someone who conditions more than anyone in the NBA, right? As a 40-year-old man, you have to condition your body really well. And that's what LeBron James says every press conference is, they ask him, how can you keep it up at a level like this that you're playing at this age? And he says it like, I'm trying to keep my body healthy, condition my body, keep working out, eat the right stuff. So to have a leader like that on your team, it helps really well. So LeBron is like, yo, bro, 4 a.m. You're coming with me to the gym, and best believe Luka's there with him, because look at the weight he lost.
Yeah, if only Bron could lay off the cookies.
If that's his one setback, then I'll take it.
How about you lay off the cookies, Jay?
Hey, listen, Linda. Don't get mad at me. D Wade is the one that brought that story to light. You can get mad at D Wade for sharing that story.
Why'd you call me Linda?
You know who you are, Linda.
Uh-huh.
It's Triple B to you.
Linda.
Hey, real quick though. Hey, since we're on the talk about Luke and the Lakers and Mavericks and all that, Mark Cuban had come out and said, and even I know we were talking about it, where we were saying that they didn't get nearly enough for Luka as what they should have got. Mark Cuban said you should have got at least 3 first-rounders, Christie and Anthony Davis. So and this is a guy that owns 27.7% of the team, but apparently, hey, he did say that, hey, I don't care about basketball operation with Mavericks anymore. I'm just here to get whatever little bit of money comes my way from it and be done. So I guess, Mark, if you don't care about it, Don't say nothing.
I'd say Mark.
Yes.
Mark's just he sat back. He kicked his feet up. He said he got out of there at the perfect time. I think he really did because once he left, man, everything just kind of went downhill. I mean, you've seen with this team. I mean, I saw a timeline the other day, just in the last like month and some change, where they were trading all these guys, and you pick this up, and yada yada yada, and then they raised the ticket prices by 8%, and the fans are staging protests outside the arena. I mean, it's a team that's just blown up. And guys, this team was in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
People kind of gloss over that.
Yeah.
And now they're practically on the outside looking in. And Jay, just that exact quote there, that way we get it correct there. He says, if the Mavs are going to trade Luka, that's one thing. Just get a better deal. I still firmly believe if we had gotten 4 unprotected number ones, Anthony Davis and Max Christie, this would have been a different conversation. I think we can all agree on that. That once we saw this trade, once we reacted to this trade, we said, that's all the Lakers gave up? That's all? So,
not me. I said that was amazing. What a win!
No, you were jumping for joy.
You know what's interesting to me? No, you know what's look. We're glossing over a big thing here. This whole trade thing was so under the radar that nobody was talking about nothing. Are you telling me that this new ownership group that's in Dallas, mind you, Mark still owns 27.7, so he still has a very nice stake in the Mavs, and they don't at least talk to Mark about this? Because look, Mark. One thing I know about Mark Cuban, that man is smart. He knows everything he's getting involved with. If you don't know that everything Mark Cuban does turns to gold, watch this guy. He's amazing. But how do you not advise? Because look, apparently Mark Cuban didn't even know about it. That's crazy. Because 7% of a franchise, but you don't know about probably one of the biggest trades that you're about to pull off. That don't make no sense.
Because they knew, Jay. They knew if they were to get Mark Cuban involved, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tony and Chris. If Mark Cuban was to know this, he would have shut this down.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's the luxury of them new owners being majority owners. They don't have to run it. They don't have to run it by Mark Cuban.
And he couldn't have shut it down, really, being a minority.
Yeah, I mean, he could have
tried.
He could have complained to him. But I mean, that's the thing about them owning so much of it. They can do what they want now. And I think it's all that they're trying to move. They want to move that franchise to Vegas. And I think that's why they're raising the ticket prices. I mean, they're doing everything they can to piss everybody in Dallas off and try to get out of Dallas.
What the hell?
What's up, Glenn?
That a clean shaven Glenn.
We got Dr. Evil joining us on the show today.
I was going to say Lex Luthor.
I was thinking Mr. Clean, but hell yeah.
Scared the shit out of me, man. Get popped up, and I about fell out of my seat.
Yeah. Me too, man. I was like, what else? Hey, you do know you need to go to the tanning salon. You can't let that much whiteness be up there. You got to put a little color up in that.
Stop.
I'll just go to Indy 500.
No, seriously, I recommend a Speedo and lay out on your deck for like a week.
Puppy monkey.
Yeah,
every 3 days, turn over to the other side.
Puppy monkey baby.
Yeah.
No, it looks good, man. Hey, look, man. I'm glad you finally realized that when 50% of the hair is gone, let the other 50% go. It's okay. It's good.
Yeah. I usually shave once a year. I'll wait too long this time, so.
You're the perfect example of why I'm scared to do it.
Yeah.
I picture myself. No, this is no joke to you, bro. Like, I picture you and I think of myself because I feel like that's what I'm going to look like. That's why every time somebody tells me to do it, I say no. I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, you really should do it though, Frankie. Most of your hair's gone.
Jay, so if Glenn tans, will he look like Frankie then?
Probably.
Oh wow.
Glenn don't tan, he burns.
Okay.
That's
beautiful.
Hey, listen, I had my hair bald for a long time when I was in the Navy. Trust me, I know bald is beautiful. I look good bald. I really do.
Hey, listen, my father's bald, so I look like my father. So all I know is that
it's coming.
I go bald.
Okay, look, this is not a Bosley hair commercial. I just want to make one comment. Let's move on.
I go bald. I know I'm going tan.
Yeah, I definitely don't need the Joey Logano hair club for men crap. So
Hey, listen, man. I got some chia pet seeds up in the closet. I'll break the things out.
No.
Have a good pro working. Let's
get back into the show. This ain't the barber show. This ain't the barber
show. Frankie, it's not. But if anyone wants to sponsor us, we are open for opportunities. I'm just saying.
Hey,
but
if you own chia pet seeds, this is a show for you.
So also another comment too, Jay. We were talking about, Mark Cuban, the Mavericks, everything going on there, Glenda, so you get filled in real quick. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but Michael Thompson, the father of Klay Thompson, is Frankie, former Laker and all-time NBA great. He also had some comments about the Mavericks and how they're doing right now. I just want to read you guys this quote, and then we can get some reactions and keep it moving here. So a direct quote is he's talking about Klay. He says, he thought with Luka and Kyrie that they had a chance to get back to the finals. Obviously, Luka left, and I told him, well, when AD's coming, you've still got a chance to get to the finals because AD is that good, Thompson said. Then he's hurt. And then Gafford got hurt. Then Lively got hurt. So, yeah, Klay is stuck in purgatory right now. And if they hang on to the 10 seed, that'll be the story of the year in the NBA because I think they're going to lose 10 in a row. Brutally honest?
Yeah.
And now they've lost Kyrie for the season as well.
That's true. He didn't even mention. Yeah, Kyrie's out for the year. Oh, it's a mess. Glenn, I want to get your thoughts on this, man, since he just hopped in. But really, just talking about the Mavericks and their kind of demise here in recent weeks.
Yeah, it's a crap show. I'm just gonna be honest with you. So.
Hey, Glenn, can you do me a favor? Because I know you were streaming WWE 2K25 last night on release day. I need you to do me a favor. And once we wrap up here, go into Community Creations, download Nico Harrison, download just any Mavericks fan, and put them in a Hell in a Cell. Can you do that for me?
I can give it a shot.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
Glenn, can you do something for me? Close your damn shades,
yes.
Glenn.
Go ahead.
Now, Frankie said, "Can you make me and then have me go on one-on-one versus Rhea Ripley and I lose?"
Oh, yeah. Please, yes, please.
Yeah, that's what Frankie wants.
Make sure her special move.
Have Rhea hit him with that pin.
Yeah, you get it, and you guys can watch that whenever Glenn goes live.
I want one of her finishing moves, edit it, and give her a finishing move of the stink face for me. Look at Chris up there shaking his face like, yeah, that's a good idea.
He's like, yes, absolutely.
Hey, how about this? A 1v3 handicap match with Rhea versus Glenn, Chris, and Frankie. How about that?
Yeah,
all get squashed.
Man.
Okay, well, we're talking about the playoffs here. We're talking about who might get in, who might not. So we're going to do a little fun here. We're going to have a little top 5. The 5 teams we think will make the playoffs in the NBA. We'll start off in the Western Conference since we were just talking about them. So currently the standings are as followed. Number 1 seed is going to be OKC. They should be clinching here anytime soon as that number 1 spot. So that'll be pretty much locked up. They're currently 10.5 games ahead of the Lakers. And Frank, I know you guys are red hot right now, but I don't think you can catch that number 1 spot. So I think we can all confirm that OKC is going to be number 1 in the West for all of us.
Hey, that's fine. I'm cool with coming from the 10th up to the 2nd.
So the other few seeds we have left, and I'll go into the really just the 10 teams available, and then we can figure out who's going to make it. So number 2 is the Lakers. Number 3 is the Denver Nuggets. 4 is the Memphis Grizzlies. 5, the Houston Rockets. 6 is the Golden State Warriors. 7 is the Minnesota Timberwolves. 8 is the LA Clippers. 9 is the Sacramento Kings. And the 10th spot is the Dallas Mavericks. So we'll just kind of focus on those 10 teams because those are the ones who are going to make the playoffs full in or the play-in tournament. So
can you name the 2 teams on the outside looking in under the Mavericks real quick?
Yes. The number 11 seed is going to be the Phoenix Suns, and the number 12 seed, as is the Portland Trail Blazers.
Okay.
All right, so Frankie, we'll just start with you, man. So we know number 1's going to be OKC, but how do you see the rest of the top 5 stacking up?
Well, as of right now, number 2 and number 3 between the Lakers and Denver are really neck to neck. And we got to play Denver in a couple days. So that right there, you got to wait for that. I think that game to come and follow. Even from the Memphis all the way down to the Warriors, right? They're all close. Memphis, Rockets, and the Warriors. So it was a must-win for the Rockets the other night, which they got, or it was yesterday, I believe, and they got the win because if they would have had gotten the loss, Golden State ended up beating Brooklyn coming from behind, and that would have changed. That would have dropped the Houston Rockets from the 5th seed to the 6th seed. So good win on that part, Jay. They must need a win for you guys, and it was really well. Then you got the play-in tournament where it's like literally every single one of those teams are neck and neck, except for the Dallas Mavericks, because I believe in Klay Thompson's dad. I think they are going to lose 10 in a row. Like they don't have nobody. They don't got nobody but Klay, and Klay isn't any better. But I think that the Clippers are in the play-in at number 7. I think who's number 8?
Currently, the Clippers are 8, the Timberwolves are 7, the Kings are 9, and the Mavericks are 10.
Okay, so I think the Clippers are going to end up being 7. I think Timberwolves are going to be 8. It's going to be a close record, but I think Timberwolves are going to be 8. I think Mavericks are out. I think Phoenix gets in. They're going to be 10. And I'm going to keep Sacramento where they're at because Sacramento they've been looking good the last couple of games. I'm going to keep Sacramento at 9.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Let's see. We'll go to Jay in the West. How do you think that's going to shake out in your top 5?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's no doubt OKC is going to be 1. I think once you get to Golden State, maybe even Minnesota, that's really all about all the ones that I don't think the Clippers are going to even get. I don't think they have a good shot of getting in there, but I definitely think what we got left 20 games, I think, right?
Yeah, right around that mark.
Right. And so I don't even think Minnesota. I think the top 6 is what we're looking at. So I'm going to go OKC. I think Denver, and like I said, Frank made a good point, that Denver Lakers game is going to be huge to see how that really truly unfolds. But I think Denver just has a little bit more. So I'm going to go Denver at 2, LA at 3. I think Memphis is on a 4-game losing streak right now. So I do think that Houston could possibly slip past Memphis. We'll see how that works out. But I think Golden State slides up into the number 5. Actually, no, I'm gonna stick with, I think Memphis falls out. I think Golden State slides up. So I'm gonna go OKC, Denver, LA, Houston, and Golden State.
Okay. All right. Big Glenn, over to you, my friend. How do you think this top 5 is going to shake out?
I think Lakers go to the 1 and OKC.
They're going to the 1?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah. I think the
Glenn,
Lakers
do you know how many games behind they are?
Do what?
Glenn, they're 10.5 games back with like 20 to play.
Logan was like, what?
Yeah, I didn't realize that far back.
Okay. Look, when he was saying he nicked the cerebral cortex. It's not his fault.
Yeah. 1 through 4 stayed the same. Let me go look at the standings real quick.
We just said it, Glenn.
Yeah.
Oh my God, grow your hair back.
I got the Lakers with it all, is what I'm trying to say.
Ow! Okay, we're just going for top 5. He's going for everything. Okay, man. All right. Hey, go ahead.
I really don't. I don't know what happened just there. I feel like there was a disconnected communication. Can we try that one more time? Glenn, top 5, damn it! Give me the top 5 in the West. Who's your top 5 in that order? Let's go.
Yes. Can you run 1 through 8 for me real quick? I'm trying to.
I've been drinking.
All right, so Glenn, what we'll do is we'll have you pull up the standings, brother.
Glenn, are you okay, bro? Have you did you go to sleep?
He was up all night, man.
WWE2K.
Yeah, he's up all night.
I got the focus group at 2:30, so.
Jesus.
Do you need us to tell you the standings?
I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah, hold on. I can make this easier. Give me 1 second, fellas. Hold on. I can make this so much easier.
You know what's funny, guys?
I got it now.
Here we go. You know what? We have the power of technology.
Yeah, I got it now. I think Houston and Memphis flip. I think Houston becomes the 4 and Memphis is the 5. Everything else stays the same.
All right.
Oh my
So
God, you spent all that time just for that shit?
Yeah.
Hey, Frankie. I know you're going to go back and clip that and say, yeah, Lakers are going to be the 1 seed. You're going to clip that forever.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he should
clip,
put
I'm
that
gonna clip
because we
your
have to win
reaction
it
to
all.
that.
So
This I've been on a show with Logan for almost 5 years, or just about 5 years. That was the first time I've ever seen Logan's eyes wide up and he say like, "What?" Like,
yeah.
If it comes through, it'd be awesome. You know, I mean, that'd be
Hey,
crazy.
if they had enough time, they could definitely do it. I'm just being honest.
All right. Also, we got Jay. We got your boy Joe chiming in from Italy. We got the international viewer in here. What's going on, Joe? Glad to talk with you today, my friend.
hey, what's up, Joe? My name is Frankie. So whenever you want to comment on it, you can say what's up to me too, not just Jay. He's not so special. Just because you guys are Cowboys fans.
All right, Tony, Chris, top 5 in the West. You see it on the screen. How do you think it's gonna go?
I'm going with the
Don't
Thunder,
take
the
comments.
Lakers. I'm gonna go Nuggets. No, actually, I'm gonna go Nuggets 3, but I think 4 is gonna be the Warriors. I think the Warriors pass the Grizzlies and the Rockets. Grizzlies go 5, Rockets 6.
Okay,
I
all
like
right.
that.
And Chris, what about you?
Excuse me. I'm gonna go OKC 1, Lakers at 2. I'll say because I think the Nuggets and Lakers could flip flop at 2 or 3. At 4, I'm going with the Warriors as well, and then at 5, I'm going to go with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think the Grizzlies and Rockets both are going to drop out of the top 5.
Ooh, hot take. I like that.
I didn't see Jay.
That was awesome.
Wow.
I
I'm just-
like that.
Before I give my top 5, I just want to say this: it still boggles my mind that they have the Memphis Grizzlies in the Western Conference when they are right near Georgia and Florida. Like, why the hell are they in the West? They have to travel so damn far. But I've never understood that alignment. But with that being said, for me, my top 5: OKC number 1. I'll have the Lakers at 2, Nuggets at 3 because they're going to just beat the hell out of each other. For the 4 seed, I'll go with the Houston Rockets. And for the 5 seed, I'll go with the Golden State Warriors. That's my top 5. I got Memphis dropping out a little bit. All right, now let's head on over up to the East, and let's see what's going on here. All right, so we already got the number 1 seed clinched. Cavaliers are already taking that spot. They've already made the playoffs, so we know that they're going to be on there. Celtics at 2, Knicks at 3, Bucks at 4, Pacers at 5, and currently their teams you see here, the Pistons are at 6. The Heat are 7, the Hawks at 8, Magic at 9, and the Bulls are at number 10. All right, so what we'll do with this one is we'll just start off with Tony and Chris. Guys, let's get your comments on this first, on how the top 5 in the East are going to look. And also, Joe, hello to you as well. Everyone say hey to Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, how's it going, Joe?
Hey, hey, there we go. All right, guys, what you got?
Of course, the Cavaliers first, Celtics second, Knicks third. Now the 4th spot is going to be tough. You got the Bucks, who's got maybe a half game lead over. Well, yeah, a full game lead over the Pacers, and 2 game lead over the Pistons. That's what separates 4th, 5th, and 6th. That's tough. I'm going to stick with the Bucks 4th, Pacers 5th, and the Pistons 6th. I don't think that top 6 is going to change. Even though I want the Pacers to get the 4th spot, I'm hoping they do, but it's not going. We'll see.
All right, Jay, let's go to you, my friend. How's it going to look?
Yeah, I think Cleveland will definitely retain the 1. I think Boston will still stay at 2. Where it gets interesting for me is after that. I think New York, because of that Jalen Brunson injury, depending on how long that's going to keep him sidelined, I think New York will take a little bit of a slip. I think Indian. I want to say I believe Indiana will slide up to number 3. I think Milwaukee will stay at 4. And I think Detroit will go to 5. I think New York will slip into like the 6th or 7th spot. I think that Brunson injury is going to be a big factor for them.
All right, yeah, we'll see what happens. Big Glenn, you got the Pacers at 1 or 2?
I got the Pacers catch Cleveland. No, I was playing. I had to go with the callback on that one. But anyway, Cleveland's obviously they're locked in the 1. I think Boston probably could try to make some hay, but I think it's too late at this point. This is where it changes up for me as far as where everything is at currently. I have New York falling to at least a 6, probably the play-in. Miami moves up, Detroit moves up, but I think the Pacers get to at least the 4, if not 3rd. Milwaukee will drop back, and I think that's pretty much where I have everything at.
Okay, all right, Frankie, how do you think the East is going to look?
I think the Bulls are going to come up and take the number 1 spot.
Oh, brother.
I think the Magics are going to take the 2nd. No, I'm joking. All right, let's be serious.
Get out of here.
All right, Cavs already locked in the number 1. I don't think the Boston Celtics are going to catch them, especially with head-to-head matchups. I think Cleveland owns that. Boston is going to be at number 2. I think New York falls down to probably about number 6. I see Detroit probably having some type of splash, and I think Detroit's going to come up and take the 4th spot. And I think the Pistons are going to stay at the Detroit's going to come up and take the 3rd spot. Pistons come up to the 4th, and Milwaukee drops to 5th.
Okay. All right, yeah. And for my top 5, we'll round out our basketball coverage here today. Obviously, Cleveland number 1. I like Boston at 2. Boston's a really good team still. It's just Cleveland's been a little bit better this year. For me, I'll go with the Bucks moving up to the 3 spot. I will have in the 4 spot the Knicks. I think depending on how long Brunson's going to be out, I think they can maybe maintain as long as they stay healthy. So I have the Knicks at 4. For my 5 spot, I'll go with the Pistons, with the Pacers at number 6 for my Eastern Conference. Just alignment here as we round out the season with about 20 games or so left. So we'll see if our predictions are right or if we are just.
Chris needs to go. Chris didn't go.
Oh, sorry about that, Chris. Go ahead, man.
Oh, no problem. Number 1, I'm gonna go with the Cavs, of course. Celtics at 2. I think the Pacers move up to 3. The Bucks at 4, and I think the Knicks are gonna fall back to 5.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Into that.
So we've all got the Knicks falling back, it seems.
I think that Brunson injury is so huge for them.
Yeah, that ankle injury worries me a little bit on Brunson because it looked pretty bad when I saw that replay. I mean, that thing turned up completely sideways. That's pretty ugly.
I mean, yeah, you're right. And I think the way Karl Anthony Towns, obviously he's still kind of coming back from that layoff he had for a little bit. So I just think the Knicks are I think there's just a lot of questions on that team that's going to cause them to take a little bit of a tumble. I think they'll make the playoffs, but it's going to be a rough go for them.
And also, too, we know that Thibodeau runs his team to the ground. So we'll see if they can, if their conditioning can hold up. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's go into let's talk some football. As we know, the off season's around. The draft should be coming up here in about a month and some change. So we'll talk more about that as we get closer to it. But there is, of course, the off season. There's trades being done. People are getting released. Contracts are getting extended or restructured. So we're going to do just kind of a recap for that. As we confirmed, Travis Kelce's coming back. We'll talk about KC real quick and what that kind of means for them. For me, I'm kind of discouraged only because he did look just not as good last year. All in all, in regular season and the postseason, I think he had that one good game in the postseason, like early on. But other than that, I mean, he wasn't a big factor. If anything, I mean, I think that Xavier Worthy is probably their best receiver last year whenever Rashee Rice was out. So they're getting him back this year, as well as whoever they choose to pick up in free agency. So, but for me, I mean, he just didn't look super interested last year. He looked kind of just out of it in sometimes, and like his head was elsewhere. So, I mean, if he's locked in, great. But if he's not, then it's kind of a little bit more of the same of what you got this past year. So I'm not, by him coming back, I'm not swayed of like, okay, put him in the Super Bowl. But I feel like it's still a better option than if he had left, though, because you have that locker room leader. You have a guy, who's going to be a future Hall of Famer and who could potentially help mentor if they do end up drafting another tight end. So I like that he's coming back, but I don't think he's going to move the needle for if they're a Super Bowl contender or not. Just because I wasn't super impressed by him this season. But we'll go with Jay first, and what do you think about this? Just he confirmed he is coming back.
Yeah, I think I think that whole Saturday Night Fever costume he wore to the Super Bowl is going to haunt him for a long time. I think, like I told you earlier, I think he lost the eye of the tiger. I think he lost it. I think Taylor Swift put it in her purse, and he got all romanticized about that relationship and all the things going on around it, right? And I think he just lost focus of football. I think football took a huge back seat to him. I think caring about football took a huge back seat to him to living that lavish, entertainment lifestyle. So now that he got punched in the face, I think he's saying, hey, look, okay, I don't like this taste in my mouth. He said, I don't like this taste in my mouth. I'm going to come back for another year. So I do expect to see big things out of Kelce. I do. I think he's going to do one more year. I think he wants to go off on a good note and not on the note that he left in the Super Bowl. And I think he's coming back. I think he's going to be focused. I think he's going to be dialed in. I think he's going to be hating the way he left things. I think he's going to want to make his mark and let people know that he was a jabroni last year. And now he took a check on himself.
Jay, I'm liking the wrestling terminology. I'm a fan of it. We'll go to our wrestling commentators here, Tony and Chris. Guys, what do you think about Kelce coming on back? Oh, you're muted, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't think he would. I didn't think he'd retire yet. I definitely didn't think he'd retire. So I definitely thought he would be back, and I think he'll be a little bit more focused. I think Kansas City just that day had a bad day. They wasn't ready. Whatever happened, but I think Kelce still got a lot to offer, and I think Kansas City will be back in the playoffs. I don't know if they'll make it to Super Bowl, but I think Kansas City will have a good year, and I think Kelce will have a real good year. Chris.
I think Kelce is going to come back and have a good year this year. If you look at his numbers last year were pretty close to the same numbers he put up the year before. He just had a couple less touchdowns and almost about 90. He actually had more receptions, but he had a few less, about 100 less yards. So his numbers wasn't too far off what he done the year before. I think two of the factors where his numbers were down last year, one was the offensive line. And then the other one, if you look at Patrick Mahomes' numbers last year, he statistically had the worst season that he's had since he's been in the NFL. So I look for Mahomes to have a better year this year. So with that, I think Kelce will have a little bit better, or will have a better year this year as well.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing, though, real quick. On that note, though, Gonzo, they're going to have to do some serious work on that offensive line. And I think he pointed that out. That offensive line, they need some. If Patrick wants to have any kind of season, that offensive line's got to do some work.
Yeah, and they've already traded a couple of pieces we've seen. They got rid of Joe Thuney. They traded him. Yep. And they re-signed Smith the other week, so they did keep him. So, they could always go and draft someone. That could always be an option, or they could pick someone up in free agency. There's a bunch of linemen out there you can easily go and pick up. He said, let's be real, KC lost that game because they expected the refs to hook them up. The refs did not, and let the true better team win. I don't think the refs are going to help an ass kicking like Philadelphia gave them. I don't think the refs can even help you with that much.
Look, let's be honest. Philadelphia played that Super Bowl in all three phases. Every single phase of that team was on point, and Kansas City just wasn't ready for it. And I think we saw that, like you said, and we've all pointed it out, that they had a horrible, honestly, if you really think about it, it wasn't as good of a regular season. Like Tony pointed out, that the numbers that Mahomes put up weren't great. It's just the worst season he's had. Travis Kelce probably let a little bit of the dog go in him go out of the way. And, and then you had, what's his name, go down with injury, Pacheco early in the season. So I don't think Pacheco quite got back to his full running game. And then you had, just a myriad of issues. And I just think, and there was a number of games, guys. We know there was a number of games that, honestly, KC got super lucky because they really should have lost some of those games. And so, I think the writing was on the wall going into the Super Bowl. And I wonder how they're going to address it coming in next season, because I don't think it's going to work out the same way for them next season if they don't address those issues, especially the O-line.
Also, I think the way Philly played that game, I don't think anybody that would have come out of the AFC would have beat them that day. Philadelphia was on fire. I don't think the Ravens would have beat them. I don't think Buffalo would have beat them that day. Just that day. I'm not saying they couldn't beat them a different day, but that day, the way Philadelphia played, I don't think anybody was going to beat them.
Absolutely.
On a mission. Hey, Big Glenn, what do you think about Travis Kelce coming on back?
Yeah, I think he's got another good productive year ahead of him. This could be his last, obviously. So he's got unfinished business. He's got to take care of it. So
I got a request. I got a request. If when Glenn talks, we have to be able to see the bald head. We get.
Because right now he looks like that guy.
There we go.
Hey, anybody remember that movie Platoon? Anybody remember Platoon? When old boy was sitting on the toilet. I'm just saying, man. Damn.
Almost tying that shit up real nice here, you know.
You just don't have to save effect it don't have to save effect if we can't see the bald head.
Oh yeah.
Frankie, are you back yet, or if you stepped away, we'll head on. Seconds. Okay, we'll head on.
Yeah.
All right, keeping it with football news here. Let's see. We got the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals have kind of been going through it last couple of days. We saw that Sam Hubbard retired, and he was a young, kind of 29-year-old guy who's been on the team for a couple of years. Really good defensive player. Now we're seeing rumors that they might get rid of Trey Hendrickson, who's also just a very solid player. So, I mean, does it seem like Cincinnati's kind of blowing it up in a way, or they're kind of in a weird spot right now because they had a really mediocre year, right? They weren't awful. Had a lot of those close games, as we know, that they could have won, but it didn't end well for them. So, if you're the Bengals GM, I mean, what do you try to do this year? Do you try to rebuild and, maybe have a better season last year? Do you just say, all right, let's kind of blow things up here and see what, Burrow and company can do, later on down the line? So it's kind of a tough predicament for them because I don't think a lot of us thought that they would be that bad last year with their record wise. So Tony and Chris, we'll go with y'all first.
I think they're going to try to keep their offense together as much as possible and try to go young on defense and hope it works out. I think the money's a big issue, but they don't want to lose those guys on the offensive side of the ball, the weapons. But looks like they're going to let. Well, I think the deal with that Hendrickson is the fact that when I forget the guy's name, and just got the big deal.
Crosby.
Once Crosby got that big deal, and Hendrickson's got them kind of numbers, he wants that kind of contract, and Cincinnati knows they can't pay him that. So I think once that deal dropped and how much money he got, I think they said, man, we're not going to be able to pay him, so let's see what we can get for him. So I think that's a big reason for that deal.
Yeah, to me, the Bengals have got themselves basically a rock and a hard place because to be able to try to sign some of these guys and keep them under the cap, you need to be able to do a lot of guaranteed money because you can take that guaranteed money and put it in the bonus or whatever, and it don't affect the cap. Well, to be able to do that, the owners have to put that money in the bank up front, or you can't do the guaranteed money like that. So if you're guaranteeing a guy $100 million, you got to have that $100 million in advance. The Bengals don't have that kind of cash, so it makes it a little different trying to do some of the salary cap things some of the other teams can. I think what they're going to end up doing is basically giving Joe Burrow what he wants and trying to keep both receivers. Personally, I think that's a mistake. We saw last year Joe Burrow put up MVP type numbers. The receivers had good numbers, but their defense couldn't hold anybody under 35 points, so it didn't matter. And Hendrickson has led the league in sacks in the last 3 years. I think he has more sacks than anybody else in the NFL. He had like 20 a year or two ago. I mean, dude is the kind of player you need to build your defense around. So to me, to move off him, I'd keep him and move off Higgins before I kept Higgins and Jamar Chase both.
I agree.
All right. Hey, Jay McLovin, Bengals in that kind of weird spot right now, brother. What do they do?
Yeah, I don't think the Bengals are necessarily blowing up anything. I mean, they if they were going to blow it up, they wouldn't franchise T. Higgins. I think they would let him walk. I think he's got some players wanting to get out and try something different, go someplace different and try a different experience. I think Hendrickson is 30 years old. He's not a young guy. You're right, though. He did statistically have his best season last year at 17.5. And over the last two seasons, he's number one in the league at 30.5. And I think the next one is 30. I think it was 37.5, and then TJ Watt was like 30, so he's like 4.5 less. 35 was for Hendrickson, 30.5 was for TJ Watt, and then Danielle Hunter came in at 28.5. So statistically, over the last 2 seasons, Henderson has been playing lights out, and he probably does want to get a little bit more money, But and this is not the first time he's asked for requested a trade. By the way, this is the second time. This is the first time that Cincinnati has allowed him to seek a trade. So the guy's been wanting to get out for a little bit. It's just now they're finally saying okay. And I think it's a good thing on their move because honestly, he's 30 years old. He's going to be, they probably want to get a little bit younger on defense, and so maybe they want to go that route. Maybe they should have got some picks for him, or hopefully they can get some picks for him, I should say.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, Big Glenn, what do you think about this, man? Cincinnati and what they've done so far this offseason.
Yes, I think with them, they are trying to retool on the fly while also paying people like Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, things like that. They're having to retool while paying guys. So I think they'll be able to do it.
Yeah, and like I said, they're one of those teams that's they had to shed some money. They have a lot of money tied up too, so they're gonna have to finagle their way to a winning season and maybe get back to the playoffs. We'll see. But Frankie, if you're here, by all means, man, go right ahead and talk about these Bengals.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow on what Chris said. Honestly, like I understand what Jay and Tony are saying, how like they want to go defense but keep their offense the same, which is what they're looking like. But I also think it comes down to money, right? Everything always comes down to money, which is why we are seeing them get rid of players left and right. Let's not forget that they just franchised T. Higgins, and that's their number one main priority was going into this offseason, was not letting him walk. They franchise tagged him, and now they're looking to talk long term. So the only way they can do that is by saving up some cap money and giving this man a contract long term, which in my opinion, I think it's absolutely wrong. I feel like you should let T. Higgins go and save that money. Like you don't want to, like, why are you spending that much money on 2 wide receivers and you just spent so much money on Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow? So now you're going down the drain water on your franchise for the future.
Yeah.
Very, very good thought here. We'll address what Robert Wardell mentioned here in a comment. We'll talk about this. This is a good topic here. He says, "What's y'all's takes on DK Metcalf wanting to trade out of Seattle? Do you want a Dez Bryant 2.0, Jay?" Well, he's addressing you. So, what do you think? Would you take DK out of Seattle?
Would I take DK? I know we talked about this yesterday. Would I take DK? Yeah, I'd take DK. But do I want to take the $30 million that goes along with him? No. So you can keep that DK mess over there. And I don't even, because we only got $36 million available. I'm not going to spend all that on just one guy. We need a couple of spots to fill. So no, I wouldn't take the $30 million. Now, if DK wants to take a hit and go down to around $20 million, okay, maybe we can talk, but not at $30 million.
It's easy like this, Logan. It's just like this, Logan, Jay, Tony, Chris, Glenn. It's just like this. The Patriots are the only team that's able to give him that money. You want to come to New England, DK? I'll take you, open arms. I'll give you that hug. Hey, yo, first of all, tell me what's wrong with Dez Bryant. He was one hell of an athlete. So to go out and call him Dez Bryant 2.0 is an absolute, that's a compliment right there. Like, that's over the ball. And he's young. This man isn't even 30 yet. I think he's like 20, 25, 26 years old. So
he's 28.
He's 28?
I believe he's 28.
27.
Okay, 27? So he's right in the middle.
So he's young. I'll take that man with open arms right now. DK Metcalf with Drake May. Woo!
Yeah, but you got about 20 other positions to fill.
Let me ask you this real quick,
We
Frankie.
got over $130 million in cap space. Go ahead, Chris.
It's reported that the Seahawks are asking for a first-round pick, a third-round pick, and Metcalf is wanting at least $30 million a year. Would you be all right with the Patriots giving up the draft capital to get him?
Honestly, I wouldn't give up a first. If I'm the Patriots, I'm gonna rework that. Probably give them a second and a third. I'm okay with a second and a third. But that first pick, that's your future. That is your future. So if I'm the Patriots, try and keep that first round pick because I really want Will Campbell. I've been saying it since we weren't getting Travis Hunter. I want Will Campbell. He's an offensive lineman that can literally protect Drake May for the next 10 years. So go and get Will Campbell. So please, I'm okay with the 30 mil, Chris. We got over 130 million in cap space. You know, give that man his 30 mil for like, you know, whatever, 3 years, 4 years, whatever. I don't give a damn. Bring in DK Metcalf. You need to have a weapon with Drake May. If you could bring in DK Metcalf,
I think you could get Will Campbell and get Tyler Lockett. I think you'd be better off going for Tyler Lockett than Metcalf. He'd be much more cap friendly.
Tyler Lockett is way past his prime, Jay, and I understand what you're saying too with the how cheap we could get him and stuff like that. But you got to look at it this way: they want to Mike Vrabel and the Patriots want to look into the future, and they can do that with having Drake May, you know, being our franchise. Go get Will Campbell. He's our guy that can protect Drake May for the next 10 years. Together, they can be together for the next 10 years because Drake May just got drafted last year. And then get DK Metcalf, who's 27 years old, and you could get that guy for a while. So you got the guy to protect Drake May. You got the quarterback, and you got him his weapon. Now, from then on, you can go ahead and fill the spots that we needed to fill. Like you said, Jay, we got a lot of spots to fill, and I agree with you. We do. But if you could get those you could get those two. You could get Will Campbell and DK Metcalf without giving the Seahawks a first-round pick. I'm set with that. I'm cool.
Let me ask you something. Would you take, because you wouldn't have to give up picks, it would be a free agent. What about Devontae Adams? You could keep your picks, and I know Devontae's is older, but would that be better because you're keeping all your picks? And would you pay Devontae over $30 million? So
all right. So I would, Tony, but then again I won't, because I've been seeing this man sit. Look how he not just reacts on the field, but playing wise also. When he left Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay and went to the Raiders, and Logan, you could, you know, chime in if you want. Yeah. He didn't produce well. He gave up. I feel like after 1 year with the Raiders, he gave up, which is why the Raiders were okay to say, what the hell with it? We're going to trade. You want to go back with Rodgers? Go ahead. See what you can do. And what happened at the end result? Him and Rodgers together didn't do anything. I'm not saying, you know, he's a bad wide receiver. He's one of the greatest wide receivers, Devontae Adams, no doubt about it. But I feel like I don't think Mike Vrabel wants to deal with that situation of his laziness without playing with the guy he wants to play with.
See, Metcalf has some issues too, but I think he would fit in with Grable. I think Grable could take care of that. So I think Metcalf would fit in with New England.
Yeah, and Robert, I think what you're looking at, his lazy run routes, was last year, and the only reason for that, he was being careful for himself.
But this is the guy you want to give $30 million to, a guy who has run lazy routes. You really want to give that much money to somebody who has a tendency to do that?
I would have gave you an explanation why if you would have never cut me off.
No, I'm gonna cut you off because you've been talking too long about a bunch of nonsense.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead. I apologize.
Go ahead, Frank.
I don't expect less from a guy who's happy for his teammates to cut their checks because, you know, they couldn't get nobody or can't get nobody, but it's okay. I just think he's just running lazy routes because he wants to get back healthy. And Jay, he came off of an injury 2 years ago. So that's why he was running lazy routes last year. He didn't want to hurt himself again. But mind you,
that's the case.
Mind you, 2 years later, but 2 years later, his bones are fully 100%. You're fully 100%. So, hey, I'll do it. $30 million a year. Yeah,
I told you this earlier. I know you got a lot of cap money, but you got to be careful how you spend that cap money,
man.
Don't
get jealous, Jay. Don't. Jay, you're just trying to say that because you don't got the cap money to get anybody.
No, I'm telling you from a friend standpoint that you need to put a good bulk of that money in the trenches, in your defensive trench and your offensive trench.
Why can't you just be
the guys that want $30 million? You need to rebuild that team from the trenches out.
Why can't you just be happy that you get CeeDee Lamb and I'll be happy with getting DK Metcalf? Let me live, damn it.
Okay.
We're basically the same, right? We got two old ass owners. We got two old owners that we don't know what they do outside the business, but they end up doing something that goes into the media. You know, we don't got two of the same quarterback. My quarterback's kind of better and healthier and younger, but you know what I'm saying.
No, I really don't, but okay.
He says, nope, I don't understand words you're saying right now. All right, well, let's go on here and talk about our final.
Hold on, Logan. I got a question for everybody here. I just seen this. So Brock Purdy They offered Brock Purdy $45 million a year. Do you think that's too low, too high, or right about where it should be of an offer?
Do you know the years?
I mean, that's
They
40.
didn't say
How
the
many
year.
years?
They
you know?
offered at $45 million a year.
Okay, 45
I
million.
think-
They didn't say a full total year.
No, they didn't put that much out. I was just watching Fox Sports and they brought that up as a question, and I was just kind of curious what y'all thought about that.
I think he takes it.
He better take it. I think he's gonna get a better deal.
I don't
I mean,
either.
I think it's in the middle. I think that's right in the middle. He'll take it. It's not bad and it's not great. I mean, you didn't show much yet to prove you should get like Patrick Mahomes money or something like that, but you proved enough to get $45 million a year.
What? I'm not Jay. I'm not giving you a hard time. What does Dak make? It's over 50. It's over 50.
It's almost 60.
Dak
60.
said,
He's the highest paid quarterback in the
Dak's higher
NFL.
than that.
Well, no, did
I
he just take a
wouldn't-
pay
I
cut?
wouldn't-
He took a $30 million pay
Yeah,
cut.
but he
Well,
didn't-
no, he just-
Yeah,
I
but
think
before that, it was like 60 million a year.
Yeah, I think sounds about right. Don't you think, Chris? 30, 45. I think it's about right.
Yeah, because there's about 17 quarterbacks in the NFL that make at least 40 million a season. So if you can get him for 45, I think that's actually a pretty good deal. I figured he would probably get at least 50. But if you're Purdy, if you can get 45, I mean you're a seventh round pick, you got to take it. But I think that's a good deal for both parties, really, because like I said, right here there are 15 quarterbacks set to make at least 40 million a season. 40 million a season this year already. So, and I would put Purdy in the top 15 quarterbacks in the NFL right now. So I think 45 is a pretty good number.
Yeah. So Dak, after restructuring his contract in the first year of a 4-year, $240 million extension, created obviously $36 million in cap space as a result. Prescott originally had a cap number of $53 million for 25 and $76.5 million in 26. So yeah.
I think what Tony was really trying to say, and he said it in a nice way, was how much Dak gets paid. But yeah, that's a good amount because Dak didn't make the Super Bowl, but Brock Purdy did. I know what Tony was really trying to say. He didn't want to be mean though. I'll be mean one for you, Tony. I don't care. I'll say it for you.
I think he was. I think he was asking if Dak at 60 million was a better bargain than Metcalf at 30 million.
I will say this though, if they do end up giving him that money, it'll make a lot more sense as to why they traded Debo and why it looks like they're getting rid of Ayuk.
Yeah.
But they're keeping Kittle, and I think they have like Jawan Jennings. I'm not super familiar with.
You
Ricky
got Jennings
Pearsall.
and
Jennings.
yeah.
Yeah, you got a couple of young guys, but still, I'm not. I mean, I feel like and of course you got McCaffrey, right? You got McCaffrey as your running back, so you hope he's healthy. Because if he's healthy, you still got a good shot. But if not, like we saw last year, they struggled. They didn't look great last year. So I mean, it really just depends on who else you get to fill out your receiving core. Also, your defense too. Defense needs a little bit of help, and if like the question all of us fantasy football owners say, will Christian McCaffrey be healthy this year? I don't know.
Not me, because I'm never getting that guy. You can't trust that guy.
He did great for me 2 years ago.
I bet he did.
That's 2 years ago, though.
Well, Logan, the receiving core, they can add, there's a lot of wide receivers on the free agent market right now. A lot.
Tons of it.
And there's a lot of veteran wide receivers out there. So they not only are they veterans, they're a little bit older. So I think they can get older wide receivers for cheap money. I mean, honestly, they're not gonna, you want to go for a wide receiver for 5-10 years or whatever. But if you got to do what you got to do and ride out with a wide receiver for like a year or two, go get a veteran. Go get a what's this guy's name from that was with the Chargers and went to the Bears.
What about Devontae?
Keenan Allen. Go get a Keenan Allen. Go get a Amari Cooper or something like that. Go get a veteran that's at that age where you can get him a veteran deal.
And there's
Yeah,
been some
not a
talk
bad idea.
about Bosa getting released, and Bosa might end up in San Francisco. Also seen him linked with Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, that would be brutal. Well, Tony, you mentioned it, Tony. You mentioned a good pass rusher, and our last topic here, also a great pass rusher, Myles Garrett. Browns owner Jimmy Haslam has apparently declined a request to meet with Garrett amid his talks of getting traded to a contender. We talked about this with Jimmy Butler, the other month. If your guy's not happy, if he doesn't want to be there, there is no point to keep him because he's not going to play motivated. And I mean, it would just hurt your franchise to not trade him and get assets for him already, especially with the draft coming up here in a month. You told me you would rather hold on to Myles Garrett for who knows how long and not get any valuable picks for him potentially, and for him to potentially not play great. We don't know, but not want to be there. Or you trade him to a contender who has. I mean, if you trade him to a team with a top and then 20s, right, in the 15 to 20s for a pick, right? We'll just say that. Yeah, you'll take that. You'll take a second rounder. You'll take a player for him maybe. So it's really just both sides seem like they're just kind of standing off right now, and they're no one's really making a move. So, hold on, we got a surprise guest here to end the show. It's a Friday, guys, and as you know, we've got the one, the only, Mike Hughes. What's up, Mike?
Will you look up for 5 fucking seconds?
Hey, no,
Mike.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Mike? How you doing, brother?
Nothing. I just came here to bother you guys.
I wish you were here when Glenn came on.
I know, it's beautiful.
I love Glenn.
Have you seen his new haircut?
No, but I saw it. He flipped me off last night and said if I didn't watch his midnight show, I was like, all right, well, shit, sorry. It was like 1 in the morning. And I was like, sorry.
Well, Mike, once we wrap up here, go back, watch the show on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, wherever you prefer. And about 20, 25, 30 minutes in, Glenn pops in, and it was a sight to behold. We'll say that much.
Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby.
Oh, of course. All right. Well, let's
say 2 words for Glenn. Bad. Bad.
All right. Back on track here. Let's end the show. I know. Myles Garrett. Talk about Myles Garrett. When does he get traded? Where does he get traded? You know what, Mike? You just popped in here, so we'll give you the honor. Will be yours. I know you're gonna say Chicago, but other than that,
I don't want that motherfucker, bro.
You don't want him.
No, I'm good. I've been there before with Khalil Mack, and it's not enough. Maybe you know what though, like a place like Cleveland will just want you to fix all of their problems. I don't have enough time in the day for that. They're gonna want like 5 first-round picks, and I just too greedy. Can't help you. But I'll take Khalil Mack back on a 1-year deal. I don't mind that whatsoever. I don't know. I think I hate to say it, but I think they have the balls to do it. I think Detroit has a really great shot at getting Myles Garrett and pairing him up with Aiden, because Aiden's still on a rookie deal. So I think they have to utilize that. And also, like, what kind of Aiden are you getting back? I mean, the man's, his fibula like exploded. So like you can't always bank on that either. So I think, as much as I hate Detroit, which sucks, because I used to, you guys know, I used to root for him. I used to be like, hey man, I hope you guys get one, man, because loyal fans. But now, bro, they just talking too much, bro. So
they came up with works.
Yeah, like the fuck. Like I was trying to be nice, but no more.
All right. Well, hey Jay. I mean, I think Mike brought up an interesting team there, but do you have anywhere else in mind you think Myles Garrett might head off to?
Yeah. Before I say that, Mike, you do got a little Ben Johnson in Detroit still in you over there, so you ain't completely left Detroit.
He came to me.
Hey, there you go. He signed the contract.
He came to me.
No, hey, I think Detroit's a good spot. Honestly, he wants to be in a contender. That'd be a great place to go. Also, I like Buffalo. Buffalo needs a pass rusher like there's no other. And I think Buffalo is really they need some more help in that defense. If they want to take the next path and get past Kansas City and actually try to get to a Super Bowl, it's going to start with that defense. And they got to do some work on that defense. And I think Myles Garrett would definitely be a good addition to get that thing kicked off, honestly.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, Tony, Chris, you guys got anywhere in mind?
Yeah, I like both those picks, but I think it's going to be the Washington Redskins. Or not Redskins, excuse me, Commanders. Sorry about that. Washington Commanders.
Cancel him. No, I'm kidding.
Why do you say that though, Tony?
I mean, I could see it be in any of those teams, but honestly, I don't think he gets traded. I think this owner of the Browns is going to stand firm that he ain't going to trade him unless they get a good deal for him. He's not just going to give away the guy that's considered maybe to be the best defensive player in the NFL right now for a third or a fourth pick. He's going to get at least, I'm going to say at least 2 number ones. But like Mike was saying, they're going to ask for a lot, and I don't blame him because who he is. And with him demanding the trade, it puts him in kind of a tough situation because these teams aren't going to want to give as much because they know that Miles wants out of there. So I could see this end up in a standoff where you could see Garrett sitting out some games maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Could be. Hey, Frankie, where do you think he's going, man?
Yeah, it could be 2 things. It's not gonna. I understand he wants to go to a contender. He can either stay with Cleveland. I think Cleveland probably don't want to ship him out, or Myles Garrett pisses off the GM so bad that he says, "What the hell with it?" Because it's not what your agent wants. It's not what you want. You want to trade? It's what I do, and they're gonna ship him off to Carolina. They're gonna piss him off. You got nothing. You can't say nothing about it. You gotta get traded.
No,
you want to piss the GM so bad. Either you stay, or I'm gonna ruin your career.
Man, didn't they just get their picks back, bro? That's crazy. If I was a Carolina fan and they immediately traded away their first rounders again, I'd be sick as fuck.
See, I agree with Frankie. If I'm Cleveland, I'm trading them for the best deal I can get. I don't care if it's a contender or not. That's on you. You wanted out of here. I got you out of here. You could worry about how bad they are when you get there.
The Seahawks would be crazy too.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
He ain't listen. That GM's not gonna send him to a contender. We understand what Myles Garrett wants to say. Okay, Myles Garrett, you could go on media and be like, "I want to go to a contender," but you want to get traded. It's not what you want. You want to say you want to get traded. Cool. Then that's on the GM now. Like it's not what your agent say. Like, your agent can't make a call. Like, hey, he doesn't want to get traded there. No, it's not what you say. It's not what he says.
Could you
do
like
you want out? It's what I say now. Now he's out.
Could you do like DK Metcalf and maybe a first and a second for Myles Garrett? You think that's like? Does DK have that kind of like pull to where it's like you don't have to give up as many firsts if you throw in DK?
That would be. I mean,
that's interesting.
Because like we did DJ. We did. What did we do? We got a couple firsts and DJ Moore for number 1. Like Myles Garrett's worth way more than fucking number 1. So.
Exactly. But who'd you get that from? Who'd you get that from?
Carolina.
Exactly. Yeah. And Cleveland knows that, so he's gonna send him over to Carolina.
Carolina.
But yeah, we'll see where he goes. But that's just kind of the latest update. And also, he said, Schneider said that same thing about DK. First priority is the best deal for the owner and the fans. What's best for the player comes after. Yeah, let's not forget all these guys are just businessmen at the end of the day. They want what will bring in the most money, what will bring in the most picks, et cetera, et cetera. And personal demands.
Like, you want to go to a contender, bro. Wait till you're a free agent. Let your agent take care.
Yeah, sign there. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Hey, we'll see where it goes. But hey, Mike, we're about to end the show today. But before we get out of here, anywhere you want people to go? Any channels you got coming up? Anything you got coming up? Any new on your side?
I'll be hanging out here, man. You guys, I'll be around.
All right, that sounds good, man. We appreciate you hopping on the end there. It's a pleasure to talk to you as always, brother.
Thanks, man. See you guys later.
All right, see you, Mike. The incomparable Mike Hughes making his presence well known here.
He's one sexy SOB.
I think one day I'm gonna take a trip to Chicago and just show up on his doorstep.
Right? Like I just want to take a picture with that man, keep it on my phone.
He's talking about sexy. What's in front of his doorstep? I don't know about this guy.
Chicago and just show up on my.
I'm just glad neither one of them know my address.
I'm sorry. What was that, Chris? About 6620 Muncie, Indiana.
I know how to get Chris. I just need to go to his area in Indiana and just do a DoorDash order for something big with a nice tip.
Hell yeah!
And he's gonna take it. He's gonna be like, oh, what a $60 order? Oh,
$60 tip.
He goes pick it up and he's like, where do I gotta drop it off?
I'm tell you how this plays out. Me and Frankie are gonna go there together and we're gonna split up. And I'm gonna say, Frankie, you go to the house. I'm going to Walmart and I'm gonna start throwing cans all over the aisles.
That wouldn't affect me none. Well, people
I'm gonna go looking for Tony and I'm gonna start throwing cans of corn at him. Can of corn.
No. See, you're doing it all wrong though, Jay. You have to figure out, because they announce when they're doing live shows, when they're doing wrestling shows, they're doing commentary.
Yeah.
That's not a secret. You know where the venue's at.
You're going to Comic-Con next weekend.
That's true.
Oh, that's right. Comic-Con. Damn. I'm going to see if
So you meet them up there and you hit them with a 3D through
That's
a table.
all I need to put on Google,
you know?
Logan. That's all I need to put on Google. WCWO Comic-Con.
Woo!
Well, Tony, Chris, we just started that. So if you guys want to chime in more about that, get any more details y'all got, or anything else you got coming up this weekend, go right ahead.
Let's see. We will be at a wrestling show this weekend, but
We'll be
we won't be able to air it live. We'll have to air it later because we don't get good internet at this one in Greenfield for FEW. And then, like you guys just said, next weekend we'll be in Indianapolis at the Comic-Con for 3 days.
Probably about 15 shows.
Yeah, it'll be about 15 shows in 3 days, and those won't be live, but we'll put those out probably like the following week or so. Start getting those up.
Write it down, Jay. Indianapolis Comic-Con. All the locations. He's letting us know. He's letting us know.
It's at the Indianapolis Convention Center, downtown Indianapolis.
Oh, he just told us.
No, Chris. I'm coming to your house.
Hey,
No,
there'll be like
Jesus.
300,000 people. There'll be like 300,000 people go through there. So if you could find us there, you earned it.
Yep.
You know what I'm gonna do, Chris? I'm gonna sit in my car.
I know people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit in the rental car for 3 days until I see you and your father, the last ones walking out with your car with the cameras, and then I'm gonna follow you.
Sounds
Just
pretty
say, Friday
I'm
show.
gonna show up in a thong and on my back.
Okay, yeah.
Whoa.
That's that'll wrap things up here.
Hey.
We haven't just jumped off
You
the
would
deep
fit,
end. We've
you would
just
fit right in with some of the people. You would fit right in with some of the people dressed there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fit right in at Comic-Con with
Yeah.
that style of dress.
Hey,
Some of
well,
the-
Jason-
some of the costumes
Jay
are
can
out there, man.
cosplay.
I'm gonna have Gonzo's boyfriend.
All right, yep.
Whoa.
Well, you guys could have stuff that off.
No.
I'm just teasing. We're all it's all just good fun.
I think Jay should dress up as Chewbacca.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah, I think that could work.
I think he could do
You
that.
just have to go get a costume. Yeah, see, there you go.
Listen, hey, on a real note, though, I know we're getting out of here. So, hey, make sure you guys check out our boy Jacob on Twitch. You can find him on ESPN in the link tree. He does a lot of good gaming. I think he's really taking off at that. So go check him out on ESPN gaming on Twitch. Jake, what is it, Jake? Is it Jake 512?
It's 518 Jake.
Yeah, 518 Jake. So give him.
But you're
give
right.
him
You're right.
check him out.
He is taken off. He's getting taken off too much of Facebook.
Yeah, I'm about to say you can catch him and also Glenn doing some. They were doing some streams last night of WWE 2K25. So I'm sure they're gonna have more of that this weekend, just throughout the coming days and weeks here. But as Jay mentioned, you guys can check us out as well as Gonzo's channel as well. It's going to be in our link tree in the description here. It's easy to find. Just click on that and just scroll through the page. So it's not just us. It's also Chris's shows. It's also our guys at Truth Be Told. It's also Barbershop with Mark Verde, and it's just so many others. You just go on there, check it. We've got great content coming every single day. And also coming up tonight, the Royally Quacked crew is going to be doing a live stream at 10 p.m. Talking about the NHL trade deadline that's ongoing. So we didn't mention anything here today. So the only reason is because they're going to be doing a show later on tonight. Just kind of recap and see what all happens throughout the rest of the day. So go and check that out later on tonight. I believe it's going to be at around 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And look at Frankie over there with the hat.
My new hat just came in, boys.
Oh, new hat.
Woo, ready for the season.
Is that a black Yankees hat? It looks a little darker than the blue.
Black on white, Logan. Black on white.
All right. You got the kid scream behind you because you look so fresh. And
My kids just got home and they like always yelling. It's just pissing me off. We need to end the stream before I start cursing.
The kids are saying, stop buying hats and start getting us a dang diaper change. Come on, let's go.
They said, Dad, we want pizza tonight. No, I just got a new hat for $40. Come on. And with that being said, once again, check us out on our link tree in the description. For Tony and Chris Gonzalez, for Frankie C, for Jay McLovin, for our special guest today, Big Glenn, and of course, Mike Hughes. I've been your host and producer, Logan Landers. Guys, enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you guys again on Monday on the afternoon.